Hello everyone. So last week we started doing our tonal drawing of a dog. We started by doing a grid with a ruler, and then we did the border using a pencil. This week we're gonna continue with our drawing. We're gonna add the details. We're gonna add the eyes and the nose, and we're gonna start adding some tone. We're gonna start with the eyes. The first thing that I do when I add details is you need to find the relation between the section that you're doing and your grid. So find where it's located. If it's easier, count your squares. And once you know where it goes, what I do is I mark a tiny square just so I know roughly the size of that detail, the eyes or the nose. Once you have marked your square, the square for your details, you're gonna start changing the shape. So you will notice that the eye is not a square, it has like round corners, and then it has like a tiny triangle point on the bottom right. You will need to erase any lines from the grid that are going through your details. So rub out those lines and then try to reshape it to make it as similar as the original shape. It's important that you observe really well the size of the eyes and the nose. A lot of times they're much bigger than what we think they are. Now, when you start working on the detail, on the eyes, on the iris and the pupil of the dog, check the size of them. Some of them have really big eyes. You can like you almost can't see anything, any white on the eye, and some of them you can see a lot more. So mark them inside your eye, and please remember to mark a square that you're gonna leave white. That's gonna be the reflection. Now, once you've done the first eye, you're gonna do the second one, and then you're gonna do exactly the same for the nose. First, you're gonna find where it goes in your grid. You're gonna mark a box, you're gonna rub out your grid, and you're gonna change the shape so it looks like the nose on your photo. If you haven't marked other details like the shape of the mouth or the ears, this is a right moment to do them as well. So now we're gonna start adding some tone. First, we're gonna start with the nose. You're gonna notice that there's a darker section for the nostrils that normally looks like a sort of like a spiral. So mark that shape inside your nose, and then look if there's any big reflections. Mark them in your nose as well, and start working from the darkest part of the nose, from the nostrils, and then try to add some tone, working from the darker part to the lightest one. Sometimes when you're working with a pencil, it can look a bit scratchy or rough. So my suggestion is work in different directions, and then you will lose some of those marks, and it will look darker, and the colors are gonna blend a bit more. When you start with the eyes, you're gonna do the pupils first. Now, the pupils are black, but one mistake that people normally do is that they just work in one direction. Try to work in the shape of the pupil. Try to work around the pupil so it looks rounder and it has more volume. Remember that the white box that we did at the beginning has to stay white. Okay, that's a reflection, so that has to stay white. After you've done the pupil, you're gonna start working on the iris. Now, the iris, when you look at an eye close, you will see that there's a lot of lines, part of the muscle that form the eye. So try to add those lines going towards the center, and that will add some texture and make your drawing look more realistic. After doing the eyes and the nose, you're gonna move on to the ears. Now, The ears have the two parts, the part outside which has fur and the part inside which is smooth. The first thing that you need to do is mark the dark and light sections of your ear. Mark them lightly because you will have to erase these lines later. Also remember that before you add any tone, you need to erase the lines of your grid. Once you've marked your sections, you're going to start working with the darker parts first. Try to work from whatever is really dark. If you have anything that looks pretty much black, start there and then try to release some pressure of your pencil as you move to the lighter sections. Remember to work in different directions to remove all the marks in your paper and make sure that the color blends in better. Once you have a color base, you're gonna add some texture. Now, because we're working with hair, you need to have a really sharp pencil. To add the texture, you need to work by making each hair at a time. You just need to be very careful to make sure that you're working in the right direction. So have a closer look at your picture and make sure that you're following the direction that the hair is following. And that's what we're gonna do this week. So finish your details. So do the eyes, do the nose, add tone to both of them, and then try to work on the ears. Make sure that you work in different directions. Make sure that you blend your color and follow the direction of the hair. I would like you just to try to do this for now. The eyes, the nose, and the ears. I know that some of you might want to try to do a bit more, but I would like us to try to work along. So don't rush it because otherwise you might make some mistakes later on. Next week we will continue working with the rest of the face, but for this, that is us. Thank you, and I hope you're having fun. Bye.